everybody. It is Thursday. Yes, it is. How are you this Thursday evening? Tell me about your Thursday. I want to know. Tell me about how your Thursday is. What is happening in your world on this Thursday evening, on which I am way more ish than 8? I'm way more ish than 8. But it is great to have you all here tonight, live. There I am, Kitty. Sorry, it has been a long day. I know Dazzle has been waiting for her treats. Hello, Adele and Dazzle. Good to have you all here. What are you grateful for this Thursday night? Tell me about your world. Tell me about it. I was thinking of the two of you today with cats, and have you seen the cat commercial advertising some sort of new litter box? I mean, I don't understand cat accoutrements, but there is a new cat litter or litter box or something for cats that they advertise, and they have a guy go peeing in the corner against the wall, and they're like, you wouldn't let him do that, would you let your cat? I'm like, I saw this and I'm just like, did they just do that on TV? I'm just like, it is, you'll have to tell me, you'll have to explain it to me. I mean, as I just cleaned up after Max, so I guess maybe you don't have to explain it to me that much. You don't have to explain it to me that much. We're broadcasting tonight live on the YouTube and Facebook. Cassandra's got the link in there for you. I've only seen it once. I was falling asleep. I was just like, is that what I just saw? I didn't hit rewind to watch it again. I was just like, really? Is that where we've gotten to? Is that what we have? But what do I know? I don't have cats. My aunt always had cats. Well, she had a dog there for a while too, but she always had cats. One of my aunts. My father's youngest sister always had cats. But we are a dog household. And I didn't have any pets growing up. It's always blamed on my brother. Couldn't have anything. Couldn't even have fish. He's allergic. So it's always about my brother. Now he has more dogs than we do. Than we've ever had. Oh, well, let's get started because 1, I'm really late, and 2, I got a lot I got to cover tonight. So I'm going to get started here with our Good Morning, Good Night book. Kitty's grateful for great customers. That is wonderful, Kitty. Yeah, they were out today. It looks like we've had a lot of consigners today, too, from some of the numbers I've seen. In my quick look, it looked like, and they were asking for more hangers from the warehouse. So that is a good thing. A good thing. Easy to care for. I like things that are easy to care for, but a lot of my peanut gallery is allergic to cats. We start this program every night with the Good Morning, Good Night book. The Good Morning, Good Night book. Tonight we're on page 86. 86, if you're following along in the book. Good morning. I'm tired. I bet you're tired. But we're awake and alive. That's enough. Come on. Hey, Kelly, how are you? Great to have you here live tonight. Great to have you here live. Let's see what I got. I got a few things tonight, and then I got to hop into government stuff because there's a lot of government stuff going on tonight. Yelp is saying new business openings are on the rise nationwide, which is a good thing. The increase is a strong signal of local economic recovery with more new businesses opening than any other period during the past 12 months. In the last 12 months, April 1st, 2020 through March 31st, 2021, Yelp data reveals that there were 516,754 new business openings in the U.S., down by only 11% year over year. Of the newly opened businesses, 69,000 were restaurant and food businesses, down by 14%. New business openings spiked in the first quarter of 2021 with restaurant and food business openings, as well as home, professional, local, and auto service openings above the level of year-ago periods. In professional, local, home, and auto categories, 272,000 new businesses opened in the last 12 months, up by 2% year over year. Home service openings were 165,000 for the year, up 5% year over year. Local service openings were 54,000, up 3%, and professional services openings were 51,000, up 2%. Auto openings were 34,000, down 4%. States with the largest increase in new openings in the first quarter compared to the previous quarter were Mississippi, Alabama, Maine, California, Texas, and Florida. So that is interesting, and it's good that businesses are opening. I mean, I don't want to lose the businesses we had, but it is good that people are willing to take risks and open businesses in this unsettled business climate. How's that? Unsettled business climate. Here's a good thing, and I actually have another article on this that I'll talk about. I'll try to find it for tomorrow. I don't have it tonight because I want to talk about alternative things for this. So the topic is that most consumers plan to shop in-store for Mother's Day. 79% of consumers said they plan to purchase their gifts for Mother's Day in-store this year, compared to only 38% who did so last year. The most popular purchases include flowers, gift cards, clothing and accessories at 30%, food items at 29%, beauty and wellness at 19%, and fragrance and perfume at 18%. The survey also found that after more than a year of Zoom holidays, most Americans will gather to celebrate Mother's Day. 61% of Americans plan to physically gather with family this year. In making a gift decision, cost remains the most important factor, trailed by style and convenience. And then it's a big drop-off to convenient. And whether the brand aligns with their personal values. And 15% of gift givers plan to spend more than last year. That's good for mom. And Gen Zers plan to have the biggest budgets for Mother's Day. Compared to millennials, it is a big drop to millennials and Gen Xers, and forget about boomers. Their moms already got everything. And the National Retail Federation is also echoing this. But what I want to talk about, so what isn't in that number or what isn't in that conversation, and that I want us to be sensitive to, is alternate Mother's Day. Okay, and what I mean by alternate Mother's Day, and I have some good reference points on this that I want to talk about in more detail. I'm only just briefly talking about it right now because of mentioning that sales are expected to be strong for Mother's Day. But people have mixed emotions about Mother's Day. Some people have a difficult relationship. Some people have lost their mother. It is a difficult holiday. So with that in mind, I do want to discuss that further. And I have a whole thing to talk about with that. So, and alternative things you can do to highlight the holiday and be more inclusive. In good news for the economy, jobless claims continue to fall as the employment picture gains strength. First-time claims for unemployment were was a pandemic era low and was better than the previous week's 576,000. So we were at 547,000 this past week. It is still outrageously high. Hey, Kitty, I'm glad you got your peanut butter cups today. I stared at some. I almost grabbed some this morning when I was in the store this morning. I'm like, ooh, that would be a good munchie. But I didn't. I almost grabbed some minis that I know you like, and said, "Oh, if I have one of those, I could sneak one in sometime." But I didn't. I left them on the shelf. Keep in mind that some 17.4 million Americans are still receiving benefits under various programs. So that is true. And since we talked Yelp for a second at the top of the program, I got to tell you about this artist that has created travel posters for the National Park Service based on their bad Yelp reviews. Okay. So, for example, at Hawaii Volcanoes National Park, one review was, I didn't even get to touch the lava. So they created a poster for that. In Katami National Park, the bad review was, all I got was a fleeting glimpse of one bear. In Ulurakeda Tikawa National Park, it was amazingly boring. In Indiana Dunes National Park, the dunes are not that high. I like this one. Hang on a second. Does it tell me what park it is? I don't know which park this was for, but phone signal is impossible. Okay, you're not there to be on the phone. Or New River Gorge National Park. The mist obscured the views. Or Kasazu National Park. Not epic. I mean, this is good. Grand Staircase, less than special. Fire Island, a bit of a letdown. I mean, I give this artist credit and the Park Service for turning the negatives into a positive. Turning the negatives into a positive. Making fun of it. What else I got here? Hang on, I think I'm flipping into my government stuff. Okay, let's go government, people. Let's go government. Okay, I've had several conversations today about PPP timelines, okay, for forgiveness. Okay, and in relation to the employee retention tax credit. And I'm not there with getting fully back to the employee retention tax credit because the employee retention tax credit isn't time sensitive. But what is time sensitive with it is a properly filled out PPP application for forgiveness if you're being pressured to apply for forgiveness. Forgiveness period on first PPP loans will come up this summer for many people, for some people that got initial PPP loans. And what that means is that if you haven't applied for forgiveness yet, you'll have to start making payments on your PPP loan, and that can be substantial. But putting that aside, let's put that aside for a second, okay? Your forgiveness period doesn't have to be all payroll. And in most cases, if you're eligible for the in an area that is eligible for the employer retention tax credit, or your sales are down making you eligible for the employee retention tax credit, then you only want to use the 60% for payroll. I mean, that is really key, because I've had a lot of bankers and accountants just be like, use it for 24 weeks. Say you used it for 24 weeks and you used it all on payroll. Well, that doesn't let you maximize the employee retention tax credit. So for the employee retention tax credit to be maximized, you only want to use 60% on payroll. You can use a longer period of time, though. Let's say you needed, you could hit your payroll in 6 weeks. Okay, to hit your 60% as an example. You can hit 60% on payroll in 6 weeks, not 8. But it would take you 10 weeks to make up the other 40% in other expenses. Let's say to get another rent payment in. So to get a couple of months of rent in, it was going to take you a little bit longer. That's okay to use a longer period and not use that entire period's payroll, because you'd have additional payrolls between week 6 and week 10. You can use those additional payrolls towards the ERTC and use the rent towards other allowable expenses. So don't be bullied into just signing this form and saying it was all payroll. That is a big no-no, okay, in this, especially if you are either down in sales or eligible because of a government mandated order to claim the ERTC. I want you to be able to claim that for the longest period possible, because it is a huge benefit to your business. In the amount is like getting another PPP, and in 2021, it's like getting a PPP every quarter. So I want you to understand that, and I want you to follow that. Some of you had multiple stores before the pandemic that your payroll was based on in 2019. So you got a bigger PPP, or you had more sales as your reference period. And now you have, instead of having 3 stores, you have 2 stores. And that allows for a lot of the employee retention tax credit because your sales are down. So just do not get bullied into just signing here. Just sign this form. Just click. It doesn't matter. It matters. If you got audited, it matters. And it matters for the sake of taking the employee retention tax credit. So I don't want you to lose sight of that. I don't want you to lose sight of that. We will talk more about the employee retention tax credit. I'm working up I'm going to work up an example of how to do it. And we will dig into that. We will dig into it, but I just don't want anybody to get bullied. And I've had several people that I've talked to today getting in that arena. I love this quote today. Hang on a second. Let me see if I can read who it's from. There has to be a chief listener at some level in a company. There has to be a chief listener at some level in a company. Think about that. Well, and I think that is important in any size company, and even more important in a small company. There has to be a chief listener. Are you the chief listener? So the Senate, so while we're talking PPP, there is a bill that is being taken up in the Senate, and I still am not sure if this is going to go anywhere. There's about $44 billion left in PPP money. There's actually a bill working its way through the Senate right now to allow Schedule C filers, so small business owners who are Schedule C that didn't get the change that the SBA made. Okay, if you recall, President Biden allowed you to use gross instead of net, gross sales instead of net profit as part of your calculation for a PPP. There is a bill working its way through the Senate that would require the SBA to go back and recalculate loans for Schedule C filers that have already been issued. So if you did not get the larger PPP that you would have gotten, and I know there are many of you that did not, because I've talked to many of you, There is now a bill working its way through the Senate. I don't know whether it's going to go anywhere at this point. This bill would not give the SBA more funding, nor would it extend the timeline for the PPP, but it would require the SBA to go back, recalculate, and give those Schedule C filers more money. And so when do I think this has any shot? Yeah, I think it has some shot. And I would argue, in my rough analysis, I would say if we get towards the end of May and the SBA still has a lot of billions of dollars left, that there might be a push to say, use it for this. I don't know that we're going to get to that point, that the SBA is going to have that much left at the end of this. But again, it would do a lot of good for the economy. It would help a lot of you. So I'm keeping an eye on this. And it is a bipartisan bill. There are senators from both parties that are and the chair of the committee, Ben Cardin, and so there's a lot of good in this, and whether it comes to fruition or not, I don't know, but I will keep an eye on it. Okay. Lastly, in our government, I talked last night about President Biden calling on Americans to give paid time off. American employers, small businesses that employ 500 or less employees, okay, which many of you wouldn't think is small, but it really is, okay, to give paid time off to get your vaccination. And they have made this effective April 1st, so you can give paid time off effective April 1st for getting the vaccine and any time that is needed to recover from not feeling well from the vaccine. So, and you can take that right off. They're updating them. The IRS has issued an updated 941 to claim that credit, and you can take it right off that. It's for any of the COVID-related reasons, actually up to 80 hours, $511, maximum of $511 per day, at 100% of the employee's regular rate of pay. So, and this is for wages paid. So the vaccination timeline is from April 1st to September 30th. April 1st to September 30th, you can give your team members time off to do what President Biden is calling your patriotic duty, to get the vaccine. And encourage more people to get the vaccine. So this is a good thing. This is government supporting the vaccine, supporting small businesses. I would expect that a lot of payroll providers will be updating their system so that you can take it and you don't have to go back and get it afterwards, but that you can get it up front. So I will keep you in the loop on that as I have more information on that, but that's what I would expect from some of the payroll providers, especially the big guys, to do with that, but to make that easy for you. So, ultimately, this is a good thing because a vaccinated country and getting more people vaccinated is a good thing. And, as President Biden doesn't want people to lose an hour of work to get their shot, or lose multiple hours of work, because a lot of people have had to drive farther away. I mean, we've heard about it in Florida many times, people driving a couple of hours to get their vaccine and everything else. Hey, just in time for Kelly's staff meeting. How about that? Yeah, no, it's a good thing. If that pushes somebody over the edge to get their vaccine, I'm all for it. If that pushes somebody over the top and says, yep, okay, if I can get paid to go get it, I'm going to get my vaccine. That's a good thing. Most people for vaccine are saying 2 hours. Rebecca's company, Lego, gets 2 hours. So, there's a lot of people, a lot of companies are doing the 2 hour thing for that, 2 hours of pay, time off. And that, makes it, this is a good thing. If it gets us closer back to normal, if it helps at all with our vaccination rates in this country, which for as many people as we vaccinated are still too low, and there's still too much vaccine hesitation, we need to help that out any way we can. What else helps out is that everything I talk about goes over to narts.org/resale strong by noon the next day. Everything, all the files, and a direct link to the videos on the YouTube channel. You're not alone running this store, where you can like, comment, subscribe, and yes, you can do it. You can ring the bell so you know when a new one drops. You can also share narts.org/resale strong with everybody you know in business. Butcher, baker, candlestick maker. We're going to help everybody get across the finish line. Hey, Rose, when did you sneak in? I am here every night at more 8 than ish live in the Narts private Facebook group. That's where you find me, at more 8 than ish. But if you have a question in between, you just email me, Neil, Neil at ECIstores.com, Neil at ECIstores.com. We start this program every night. That's okay, Rose. We still love you. You can be quiet. That's okay. We start this program every night with the Good Morning, Good Night book. The Good Morning, Good Night book is how we start this program every night. If you were not here at the top of the program for our Good Morning, tonight on page 86, Good Morning. I'm tired. I bet you're tired, but we're awake and alive, and that's enough. Come on. Our good night tonight is good night. I'm tired. I bet you're tired, but we're awake and alive, and that's enough. Come on. All right. That's great, Kelly. That is great. I'm excited that you passed that along. That is a good thing. We just got to help everybody. Well, get a good night's sleep, Rose. Tonight's a good night to get a good night's sleep, especially since I thought it was Friday already. So I didn't say Friday. I knew before I got on that it was only Thursday, but for some reason I was thinking Friday. I don't know why. But hey, you know what? I am Neil Abramson. I do like a good party, a wedding, a bar mitzvah. We will party again. We will party in person. And when we do, I will be there with you. But until then, it's cold here too, Rose. It's cold here too. 30s tonight, 30s. Until then, know that you, and most importantly you, yes, you with the covers pulled up, you're not alone running this store. I'll see you tomorrow night, everybody. It's time for dinner. Have a great night.